Great song there. The music from Badfinger and a song called Baby Blue. Thanks a lot, Phoenix, for the Retro Rock Show tonight. And Phoenix returns, of course, next week at the same time between 8 and 10 with another Retro Rock Show when he'll do it again. Welcome to Take It Easy, everybody. This is Graham Hall until midnight tonight. And, of course, I have a special guest with me coming up shortly, Steve Welsh, who was on the radio in Warrnambool for nearly 25 years. Steve will be here in a minute, just after I attend to some of Steve's requests, which will take 5 minutes or maybe a little bit longer, such as red carpet leading to the studio, a plate of biscuits and cheese and some dip, 2 drinks on ice, with the option of a third if necessary. Of course, I'm only joking. Steve didn't make all of those demands. Only the one about the red carpet, and that's actually the one that's giving me the problems at the moment. So as soon as I sort that out, Welshy will be here. I wonder if he'll put up with perhaps 2 old car mats covered in mud. I can certainly arrange them fairly quickly. We might go that way. Stand by, folks. Welshy coming up shortly. We're expecting a low overnight in the great southwest tonight of 6 degrees, a top tomorrow of 15, and it's currently 11.5 degrees in Warrnambool at the moment. Now, here's a song that was a big hit record just a little before Steve started his career in radio. Guess Who? And Albert Flasher.
Was a workshop owner in the Gulch for the people and offered myself to the world. Was a workshop owner. Was a workshop owner. Was a diesel mixer, mixed a diesel, diesel fixed me what a weasel. Baby was a workshop owner. Baby was a workshop owner. Baby and me were ripe for the picking. That was the day we ran into Albert Flasher. It was a cold, snowy, rainy afternoon, and we were sitting there at high school, my school. And Michael was a movie maker. Michael was a movie maker. Was a diesel fixer, fixed a diesel, diesel fixed me what a weasel. Oh no. Baby was a workshop owner. Baby was a workshop owner. Baby and me were ripe for the picking. That was the day we ran into Albert Flasher. Was a workshop owner in the Gulch for the people, and I offered myself to the world. Was a workshop owner. Was a workshop owner. Was a workshop owner.
Great Ocean Radio, 3-way FM.
I'm gonna love you all night long. But when the streetlights die, I'll be gone. Whoa, yeah, do-do-do-do. Gonna see my baby tonight. Wanna tell you she's out of sight. Love me in the morning, loves me late at night. Do
A great song from the Foundations, Baby, Now That I've Found You. Lady Da's going to see my baby tonight. And Guess Who from 1971 with Albert Flasher. You're listening to 103.7 Three-Way FM, and this is Take It Easy on a Friday night. My special guest on the show tonight is former Warrnambool radio personality Steve Welsh. Steve, welcome to the studios of Three-Way FM and to the Take It Easy program.
Thank you very much indeed, Hawley. Yeah, absolute pleasure to be here, and thank you very much indeed for that wonderful red carpet intro. That was fantastic. But just a little tad on the on the wrong side of things. I have no real likes and dislikes. But these days, of course, so many performers, so many actors, and they just want the earth, don't they?
They do, that's for sure. So those muddy carpet mats will be fine then.
Sensational.
All right.
Yes.
All right, well, that's good. Well, Welshy, you've been on the air at 3YB for nearly 25 years, so that's an incredible record. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Marvellous milestone. When did you start?
It was back in 1971 at 3KZ in Melbourne. We had... You having fun there?
I am.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in 71 when...
Actually, I'll tell I've got a little trick here, just so as your voice sounds not quite as powerful as mine. I'm going to gently be fading the microphone down at various stages of the program, hoping that you won't notice. And there'll be a little squeak in the background, that'll be you. And there'll be a Barry White sound coming from this side, that'll be me.
Well, thank you, Graham. Thank you very much. Yes, 71 back at 3KZ as an office boy. Just sort of not recording, but going to, taking things from the station to the office. Now, the office was in Elizabeth Street in the city. The station was the Trades Hall building in Carlton.
All right. Now, I never realised that the office was at a different place to the studio. Yeah.
And all the commercials, all the commercial logs, most of the progression for the day had to be taken up on a bus from the office to the studios about 5 times a day. Right. So that was my job, but it was also a terrific grounding to understand how the station worked, and I'd always wanted to work in radio, and got my first shift at station in Warrnambool 3UL in 1974. And that was just sensational because I covered all shifts, did news, did production, just about every possible conceivable thing, and that was just sensational. And this job in Warrnambool came up in 1976, and it was March of that year that I started off, and I was very fortunate to sort of be taken under the wing by another 3YB announcer in Graham Hall. Sitting opposite me here at this point of time.
Is that the way you'd put it? Taken under the wing?
Well, you'd been here for a little while. I didn't know anybody at all, and it was just great to sort of have somebody to show me not just how the station worked, but also the fact that this is Warrnambool. What a beautiful place it is, and we had some good times together.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, spent a lot of time together then, and it certainly is a good place and a lot of places to see. So. It's, I guess it's a pleasure showing people around when someone new comes into town because it's so much to look at.
That's exactly right. Got the morning show, which was great. Developed a program called Housewife's Choice. I don't know where that name came from, but it was a request type program, and it was terrific because you'd get requests from all around the district, and it was just fantastic to be able to relate to listeners. The way that they wanted requests, they wanted cheerio calls, and you got to know everybody through the radio requests. Yeah. And they quite often stop you in the street, or they ring you up afterwards and say that was fantastic. So that was a terrific grounding. And of course, working in country radio, you get to do just about every possible thing, and news reading, technical work, of which I had no technical bone in my body whatsoever. But everything was fantastic, and It's a great medium, radio.
It is. It's a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying this show. It's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. Look forward to it every week.
That's good.
Can you tell us the difference briefly between the commercial radio studio then, when you started, and the studio in a commercial station today? There's a big difference, totally different to the way we remember it.
I think the most exciting time back in those earlier days is that everything was live, and being live kept you on your toes, so everything that you did was virtually in your hands. So you'd have to queue up records, which was a fact of, particularly with albums, you'd have to find the track that you were particularly going to play, and then on a little cue button that in the studio that the listeners couldn't hear, you actually found the track that you wanted and got it ready to play, sort of thing. Your commercials were on cartridges. It was very important to time up to national news, which came from Melbourne. Records were programmed. Flashbacks were mostly hand-picked. The news was live. The weather came up on an old fax machine 3 times a day. And after hours, the only person in the building was the on-air announcer. Back in those days, we worked till 11 or 11:30 or midnight or something like that. But you had total control of the whole thing, so you got the phone calls, you got everything that you had to do. But nowadays, a lot of it's all computerised, a lot of it's recorded. It's a different feel altogether, and I think the fact that when you were live, you were always on your toes. I was just watching you at the start of the show here tonight, and you're just sort of going non-stop.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
listeners hear the music, they hear the bits and pieces that are coming through on the radio, but behind the scenes, while that microphone is off, you're really concentrating that hard. It's just fantastic to see. So
yeah, it does certainly take total concentration, and I know a lot of people don't realise that, but total concentration or mistakes happen. That's pretty well the way it goes.
That's it.
And also pre-planning and knowing what you're going to do when one song finishes. You've got to know in your mind what's coming up next.
Yes. And you've got to play a certain amount of commercials in each hour, and as they were on little cartridges, and it was just interesting to sort of continue on and get that program going. Once you got into the program, you were right, but in that sort of early days, in those early shifts that you were doing for the very first time sort of thing, it was a sort of a tough field, but it was good. It's good fun.
Well, we've got a lot of things to talk about. I want to talk about shortly some of the highlights. We might come back and do that shortly. Some of the funny memories that you've got about things that happened, and I've also got a few to add, including one little surprise for you.
Thank you.
And a second surprise perhaps coming up later in the night, as long as we have time. So we'll get into that shortly. We'll come back shortly, right after Chicago, and talk more to Welshy.
G'day, it's Doug Pigden on 3-Way FM. You're taking it easy with Graham Hall and Steve Welsh, talking about the old days of radio.
Baseball card.
Saturday in the Park, one of my favourite Chicago songs, and also Old Days, one of my favourite Chicago songs. On 103.7 3-Way FM, you're listening to Take It Easy with Graham Hall and Steve Welsh. Now, Welshy, highlights. When you think of the highlights of your radio career, is there anything that springs to mind immediately, a kind of a shiver-up-your-spine moment?
Not greatly. I was a very boring sort of person, actually, Hawley. I never really sort of got to do anything too exciting. I think one of the most, as far as I was concerned, and it probably doesn't mean a thing to listeners, but the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games had the baton relay coming through the southwest, and that was sensational because it covered a fair area of the southwest, going through from as far as Casterton to right back to the Great Ocean Road, Port Campbell, Peterborough, and that sort of thing. And I followed in this long convoy of cars and vehicles, and followed the baton relay people, which was fantastic. And so many were celebrities, but so many were local people. But on that particular occasion, everybody was the same. Everybody had the same sort of role to play. And it was just sensational to see. And everybody had a huge smile on their face. They only ran for, probably 30, 40 seconds. But it was just sensational. And being there at the time was a real feather in my cap to be able to sort of watch them. And
it would have been an amazing experience, and mixing with all the different people, and interesting to get a chance to meet any of the celebrities involved as well, I suppose.
Yeah, we did very briefly, but everybody just had that same sort of feel about the fact that they carried this baton on the Sydney Olympic baton relay, and they just everybody was ecstatic.
I imagine that you say it was a great atmosphere. Or did you say that, or did I imagine you said it? But I know it was a great atmosphere. What I'm thinking of is that we did go to the Commonwealth Games over a couple of days, and I just remember the vibe there. Everyone was happy, everyone was there for the same reason, and everyone was a friend of everyone else. It's not often that you have that situation happening in things that you do. So I imagine it would have been like that for the relay for the Sydney Olympics. Same sort of atmosphere.
It was. It was the lead up to something very special. Another one that stands to mind, again, just probably in my mind, I thought it was one of the exciting things at the time. One of my first interviews ever was with singer Marcia Hines, and this was back in the days when she was the Queen of Pop. I was invited to a Melbourne hotel for a one-on-one interview with this fabulous performer, and even back in 1976, she was well known for all her work that she'd done in Jesus Christ Superstar and all the music that followed. But at the end of the interview, she thanked me for coming, and I thought, well, that's fantastic, because I was the one that was coming. I was over the moon actually talking to Marcia Hines, and she sort of said, well, Steve, thanks very much for coming, and shook my hand, and I thought that was fantastic.
That's nice, yeah. That's a nice end to the interview.
It was indeed.
What's next?
Just a quick mention of some of the acts and performers. You might recall the Capitol Theatre and the Warrnambool Town Hall, and even the Palais to some extent too. Some of the great performers that came to town, and we're talking mid-70s once again, where the number of people that would come to promote their records and come and promote their concerts, people like Sherbet, Billy Thorpe, Mark Hunter, Dragon, John Paul Young. I mean, the list goes on, but they were household names, and they were great performers, and they'd come into the studio prior to their performance, and you would have spoken to a few of them over the time too.
You had a chance to meet various ones over the years, and that was certainly a highlight. I think every one of those interviews, you'd have to say, was a highlight. It was an ideal opportunity to meet these people who were big names at the time, and you're just lucky that you had that job and you're in the right place at the right time.
That's right.
I know you've got very fond memories of those days when stars used to tour around all the time and always come into the studio for interviews. It was a real thrill.
It was. And they were so one-on-one with you. Again, I'm using that expression again, but they were there. They were having a talk to you, talking to the listeners as well. But they didn't have big egos or anything like that. And a lot of the bands and performers from overseas, you sort of expect and you hear that they've got big egos and that sort of thing. But no, these were genuine, real Australian icons, and it was an absolute pleasure to speak to them.
Well, we've got a song coming up which is one of your choices. Now, what would you like to say about this one?
Rusty Wiley, the star. It was he was actually the compere of the pop TV show Uptight, back in 1968. It then became Happening 70 and Happening 71, and this song was written by Johnny Young, and it's just one that really stood out in my mind. I think it's one of the nicest songs ever, and Johnny makes a bit of a cameo appearance on this song too. Rusty Wiley and the Star at 103.7 Three-Way FM.
Look at me now. I'm the loneliest guy in the world. People say he's a star, and he's sure to go far. Ain't he pretty? Look at me now. Do they know for the love of that girl I would give all I have for a moment of love? Say, here comes the star. He's the idol of all the world. Star side, here comes the star. What he'd give if that girl would come to share his loneliness. There was a time we would wander down love's avenue, sharing moments together should last forever. Then came the time, saw my name up in lights, and you knew there'd be no time together. Now you're gone, still they say, here comes the star. He's the idol of all the world. Star side, here comes the star. What he'd give if that girl would come to share his loneliness. Now the stage is bare, knowing you're not there. I'd give it all away just to hear you say, I love you. Here comes the star. He's the idol of all the world. Step aside. Here comes the star. What he'd give if that girl would come. Look at there. Here comes the star. He's the idol of all the world. Here comes the star. Right now, we're back to the thing.
One 103.7 Three-Way FM, taking it easy with Steve Welsh.
And Graham Hall.
And that is absolutely fantastic. Okay, it's one of those songs that you either liked or you didn't like, but Rusty Wiley the Star, it's just one that stands in my mind, and another great Australian performer, absolutely.
Which bit did Johnny Young do? I was not aware that he made a cameo appearance. Now, where was Johnny Young?
Towards the end of the song there, he was going, and now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the star of the show, Rusty Wiley. Oh, I don't know if he says Rusty Wiley, but he says the star of the show. That's Johnny Young doing that little bit there.
I never, all these years, I never realised that.
Is that
you
right?
learn something every day. Honest, I never knew that was Johnny Young.
That is. He wrote the song too.
It's 23 to 11 on 103.7 Three-Way FM, and funny memories. We want to talk about the funny memories now. Now, I was going to tell this first one first. That's correct. That's what we decided, wasn't it?
First one first sounds good to me, Hawley.
First one first. That's probably the way it should go.
Okay.
Now, Sometimes commercials can go wrong in radio. There can be typographical errors, and I think that was the case in this situation. The commercial came from the copy room where the commercials are written, and there was an error, and the announcer recorded it like that. I won't mention the name of the announcer concerned, but good evening to you, Doug Pigden, if you're listening in to us tonight.
He will be. Hello, Doug.
I'm sure he will be. Good on you, Doug.
But don't mention the announcer's name.
No, we won't mention who it was,
No, okay.
because that might be not the right thing to do.
No.
But anyway, the script was meant to read, it was for Don Smallgoods, and it was pretty well like this, I think. Whether you need a hearty meal, an in-between snack or a tasty tidbit, remember Don Smallgoods. Now, honest, the typographical error on two of the words in that made it read like this: whether you need a hearty meal, an in-between snack or a tasty titbite, remember Don Smallgoods. And the announcer, who we won't mention, concerned, actually recorded it like that. Now, Mal O'Toole, who's still in the sales area in Warrnambool in radio, was at home eating his breakfast, listening to this, and suddenly he hears Don Smallgoods, and he was the sales rep responsible for that account. Suddenly he hears Don Smallgoods and titbites in the same sentence. You can imagine the situation in Mal's kitchen. He's sitting there at the breakfast table. He nearly chokes on his mouthful of cornflakes, and Kathy, his wife, says to him, "Mal, what's the matter?" And he looks at her and he says, "Titbites." And she slaps him across the face, of course, and she says, "Mal, this is the breakfast table, not now, not here. But speak to me later tonight." But that's another story.
Boom, boom.
But anyway, I'm sure it took a few years off his life. I only phoned Mel last week because I knew that he remembered the script pretty well word for word. That's how much of an impact it had on him. And I'm sure that he ran into the studio after that, removed the commercial immediately from the air, took a hammer from John's technical department and smashed it so as it was never to be heard again. And I couldn't even include it on my blooper tapes, and I've got a few good things on there, but that must be why I haven't got that one.
Fantastic.
But so it took years off Mel's life. But anyway, enough about the titbit and titbite story. I think we've milked that for all it's worth. But while I was talking to Mel, Steve, just before we go on with the other highlights, the other funny moments, Mel was telling me, and this is a genuine story, that he was talking to a local man who is involved in a Warrnambool advertising agency. I'm not sure if it's still going at the moment or whether it has finished up now. But anyway, at the time, he was involved in a Warrnambool advertising agency. He always would do regular trips to Melbourne. He said to Mel that when he was on his way home from a trip to Melbourne, when he heard the voice of Steve Welsh, he really felt like he was coming home again. And Mel said, now, that's truth. That's exactly what he said to me. So I thought, well, great, Mel, thanks for telling me that. I'll certainly make sure I mention that. And Mel, while I was talking to him, mentioned that you always had a very professional approach all the time in everything you did, Welshy. And he said also some comments about the pleasure that you would have brought to many people over the years. So I wanted to just relay those comments from Mel, and thanks for the information about the you-know-what,
Yes,
Mel.
yes. Thank you, Mel. That's very nice indeed. It's in radio, it's funny, you don't get many complimentary things. It's always the things that you do wrong that stand out the most.
Yeah, it seems to be like that in a lot of things in life, I reckon. People don't praise the good things, but you will see letters to the editor in the paper and the text talk about the negative things. And a brainy person once sent a text into the Standard which said, "I want to complain about the people who are always complaining about things in text talk." I won't tell you who that was.
Oh, okay. Somebody close to us, perhaps.
Could be.
Yes, all right. There was a well-known radio pastor, Father Gerard Dowling, and we're going back to the 70s once again. He was in town promoting his brand new book, and there we were having a nice interview. And keep in mind, this was live, because back in those days everything was live, and suddenly, to my horror, there's no record ready to play. I'm sorry, I'm going back to records, not CDs, because that's the way it was back in those days.
And that's a very scary feeling.
Yeah, it is. And I suddenly reached behind, because we had a box of records behind us, and I grabbed the first record I could feel. And as we were talking, put it on the turntable, and I said, we'll be back after this next song. And as it went to air, I've discovered I'd selected a song called Fallen Angel. So double horror to me, because I thought, and I kept the speaker down in the studio so he couldn't hear the lyrics of the song, and I thought, well, that was a bit of a shame. But I think knowing the gentleman that he was, he would have had a good laugh after that.
He would have, yeah. He had a good sense of humour. He was a very down-to-earth minister or priest or whatever. He was very down-to-earth. He was good.
You got another one?
All right. Well, I've got a recording here which involves a footy player, an ex-footy player called Fred Cook. You probably know more about him than I do. I know he was a very good VFA player at the time. This is quite a few years ago. He was doing an around-the-grounds score coverage during an AFL coverage. This didn't happen on local radio. It was from Melbourne radio. The around-the-grounds commentator crosses to Fred, and you hear nothing except his daughter saying, "Dad, you're on." And then you hear some banging around. Now listen carefully and you'll hear it all. Fred comes on with a mouthful of ham sandwich trying to get the score out. It was quite a laugh.
4 goals, 7-31, but I can only remember Carlton kicking 2 goals, so I think they're 2-7-19. Fred Cook.
We're at the 27-minute mark, and Fred Cook's got a mouthful of ham sandwich. North Melbourne are 12 points in front, 11 for 70 to South, 8-10-58. John Rantell. We're at the 25-minute mark.
One of those unique moments in radio. And that sounded like, you thought that was Sam Newman. I said to Steve, it sounds like Sam Newman at the beginning.
It
and
was,
you confirmed that? Yep.
Well,
you're laughing quite a bit at Fred Cook. Now it's time for us to laugh at Welshy.
Okay.
If I can just butt in with another one here.
Thank you.
And we could call this particular part of the segment, we could headline it with this question. And the same we could have done with the Tidbits effort. Could come under the heading, do you ever stop to think and then forget to start again? I can just hear Elliot Goblet coming up with that one. But anyway, we had a show called Radio Market, and Steve was doing it on this particular morning, and he was selling a very unique car which measured its distance in kilograms rather than kilometres. Have a listen to this moment on Radio Market.
So let's have a recap on the activity in 21. 1974, HQ Holden station wagon for sale. It has a big 308 V8 motor with 4-speed gearbox, done just 58,000 kilograms, new tyres, 11 months registration.
That was a ripper, Welshy. And that was a unique sort of a car, and I've looked around for that sort of car for years, and I've just never been able to find one.
Thank you very much for digging that up from the archives. I'd forgotten all about that. Geez, didn't I sound good in those days?
Yeah, very different, actually. I have an explanation as to why that happened. I'm wondering if it was possibly after the day you met Gay, and your mind was just not on the job the next day.
Thank you.
But then again, maybe your mind was on the job, but not the job at hand. That was such a laugh. I'd actually like to have a listen to it again just before we go on.
So let's have a recap on the activity in 21. 1974, HQ Holden station wagon for sale. It has a big 308 V8 motor with 4-speed gearbox, done just 58,000 kilograms.
Congratulations. Congratulations on that one, Welshy.
Yeah, thank you very much, and it's just lovely to hear that again. I'd forgotten all about that.
Yeah, I knew you'd enjoy it. I knew you'd appreciate it. Don't thank me.
No, I won't.
An absolute
I won't.
pleasure.
No, that's right.
This is Three-Way FM, by the way, 103.7. Next.
Just a quick one here. For all those who've experienced severe cramp, you'll relate to this one. One day I was doing a live interview with Australian singer-songwriter Brian Cadd, and he often visited Warrnambool because he's got relations in town. We're having a great chat when suddenly out of nowhere my leg experiences severe cramp. Well, it just hit for no reason. I had to jump to my feet, yelling while the microphone was still on, much to the amusement of Mr. Cadd.
Really?
I mean, it was live. I couldn't do a thing about it. I had nowhere to go. We just had a laugh. I stretched my leg and went straight to a Brian Cadd song, and by the time it was over, I felt a lot better. But there's nothing you could do. There's nowhere to go. There's you and him in the studio relating to each other, and all of a sudden, it's severe, and you've got to jump. There's nowhere to go.
A cramp is certainly bad, when it hits you out of the blue, that's for sure.
Yes.
Well, we might continue with some more of the funny moments very shortly. In the meantime, let's have a listen to Santana. This is Take It Easy on 103.7 Three-Way FM.
She's a black magic woman. She's trying to make a devil out of me. Don't turn your back on me, baby. Don't turn your back on me, baby. Yes, don't turn your back on me, baby. Stop messing around with your tricks. Don't turn your back on me, baby. You just might pick up my magic sticks.
Black Magic Woman and Gypsy Queen. Great song. It's 8 minutes to 11 and you're listening to 103.7 Three-Way FM with Graham Hall
And Steve Welsh.
talking about the funny memories. Now I might start with another one here as we continue on. The Kamal story. Now this involves, it doesn't actually involve Kamal physically, but it's about Kamal. Kamal was doing a concert in Warrnambool, and one of our other colleagues, Rod Pointer, and I had spoken about whether he was coming in for an interview or not. And we didn't know at the time. Got to the end of the day and Kamal hadn't arrived, so we both said goodbye to each other and he hadn't come in. And I was doing the evening shift and there was a ring at the doorbell. The first communication from the studio to the doorbell then was through an intercom. You answer the door and say, "Hello, can I help you?" And I hear at the back door, and it was, I'll do an impersonation. It was Kamal's voice, and I'll try and do an impersonation. It won't be very good, but you'll know what I'm getting at. And it said something, "Hello, I am Kamal. I have come to meet you." And I'm thinking, crikey, I don't believe it, Kamal has actually come in here. So I leave everything in the studio, race down the stairs, combing the hair and making sure the clothes are all right. And I must have still been doing that as I came towards the back door. I look out the back door and I see not Kamal, but Rod Pointer, absolutely in fits of laughter, just about rolling around the floor, thinking it was a great joke. So it was Rod's impression of Kamal and it was not Kamal, and he thought it was a great joke.
Yeah, absolutely. Caught you red-handed, didn't it?
Yeah, and you know what I said, of course, when I opened the door.
What did you say, Hawley?
I said, "Why are people so unkind?"
It's 6 to 11. Another little story that I had was AFL, or former AFL footballer Paul Salmon called in one day for a live breakfast interview. And I had a new, unusual coloured shirt on this particular morning. And Paul and I were happily chatting about all things football. When out of the blue, Paul looked at me and said, with a cheeky grin, he said, "Where on earth did you get that shirt? It looks like someone's thrown up all over it." Yeah, thanks very much, Paul. Gee whiz.
You would have felt marvellous after that.
I did, because you don't normally dress up, and I thought, well, I've got a special guest coming to the studio, I'll dress up, and obviously it wasn't as dressy as it should have been.
Oh, well. Wearing something better himself, was he?
No.
There you go.
Being the kind of person I was, I would never sort of interact or come back with a rather unusual comment. So,
Well, maybe you should have.
yeah.
Possibly you would now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And another, well, I mean, this is probably any radio announcer's nightmare. I mean, if you want a toilet break, you tend to put on a longer song than normal. And again, back in those earlier days, you had the times on the record, so you know exactly how long they ran for. And if you had a 4 or 5 minute song, that was great. So you pop it on the turntable, rush out to the toilet, and in this particular studio, or this particular radio station, we had a speaker in the toilet, so you could hear that the record was still going. But the number of times that you'd get an older record that would jump or stick, it would just happen time and time again. And I sort of got to the stage where I would never have a toilet break in my radio program. So
would have been an uncomfortable shift many times then.
Especially the 6-hour shifts. Yes, yes.
Now, there was a moment where I thought I said something quite funny, but you were not really very amused. I was finishing the afternoon shift, and you were coming on after me, and I played Rod Stewart and a song called All Right for an Hour. And I said, speaking of being all right for an hour, coming up next, the Steve Welsh Show, you know, as if to say it's all right for an hour, but then it gets a little bit iffy. And I thought it was really funny, but you didn't seem to be very amused at all for some reason.
No, well, probably just the way it came out, perhaps, Hawley.
Yes.
But anyway, it was good.
Yeah, you didn't talk to me for about 2 minutes or so after that.
That's it.
And it was all right.
3 to 11, 103.7, Three-Way FM. You're listening to Take It Easy with Steve Welsh.
And Graham Hall. And I want to tell this one too. This involves my mother-in-law. Before she was my mother-in-law, but she was so close to being mother-in-law at that stage it doesn't matter. I was looking through the record library trying to find some suitable songs to play in the country music show between 5:30 and 6. And I was looking for something out of the ordinary, maybe an artist well known, recording something we hadn't heard before, or a song with a funny title, and I found one called I'm Going to Buy My Mother-in-Law a Block of Land. on Mars. And I thought, now this would be a laugh to play this, preferably at a time when mother-in-law Gisela won't hear it. Gisela and Kurt were on a dairy farm then, and I knew they'd be up early and in the dairy getting ready, but I thought they probably wouldn't be right by the radio at this time. I thought probably would be pretty safe to play it, so I played it the next morning. But of course, Gisela heard it. And but
did you get the rounds at the table?
Ah, well, yes, I did. She hasn't let me forget it, but we had a laugh at it generally. She thought I was joking.
Yes.
Just that I'm still saving up the money 29 years later.
Beautiful. That's nice.
She may be listening tonight, Gisela and Kurt. She's a regular listener when she remembers that the show is on, which is good because she doesn't always enjoy all of the music that I play. So thanks for listening, Gisela. Appreciate it. Now, have you got another one of those funny stories there, or are we?
No, that's about it, really. As I said, my life was very boring, really. I never did anything too. I must send a quick hello to Helen Farrell from Jammo, because she listens to the show every week and enjoys the Graham Hall Taking It Easy.
Good.
Loves the music you play, Hawley.
Does she?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Helen Farrell.
Yes.
Oh, great. Thanks, Helen. Appreciate it when there are regular listeners. That's fantastic. So good on you, and I hope you're enjoying the show tonight, Helen. Just to finish on this is not really a funny memory, but it's from an interview with Larry Emder. I thought it was a bit of a laugh. He was asked a question. You're on a plane with Ian Turpie, John Burgess, Andrew O'Keefe, and it's going down in flames. There are only 2 parachutes. Who misses out? And his answer is this. Simple. The secret international game show host terms and conditions would apply. The 2 who guess closest to the price of the parachutes without going over would win them.
Ah, beautiful.
Very witty, I thought.
Absolutely.
Now, a song, this is your choice.
1 to 11. Why do I like it? It's 1968. John Fred and his Playboy band. Duty in Disguise is the song. Something a little bit different. And back in 60s, you had quite a different array of music coming out. I mean, it was the flower power days and the hippie days. But this, for some reason, just seemed to be one of those songs that even the kids at school, because I was back at school in those days, would run around playing, singing this song because it was just great. So, Duty in Disguise with John Fred and his Playboy band at 103.7 Three-Way FM.
Lemonade pie with a brand new car.
John Fred and his Playboy band, Judy in Disguise. The year was 1968. An absolute cracker of a song, but, you had to be there at the time, I suppose.
This is 103.7 Three-Way FM, and you're listening to Take It Easy, and my guest tonight is Steve Welsh. Memorable moments through the years. What are your memories?
I suppose 1969 has to be probably one of the biggest memories in everybody's life, really, I suppose. Well, if you're around at that time, of course, but the moon landing, when the fellas landed on the moon, and I think probably Australia-wide the story would have been the same. I mean, I can recall this particular event happening. Well, the whole school was crowded into the school gymnasium, and we all sat glued to this little black and white TV set, and it was emanating from space. It was happening. Neil Armstrong was walking on the moon. He'd come down from the space shuttle. He alighted along, off that ladder and onto the moon surface. What was the line he used?
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Jeez, you're on the ball.
I was there too. Yeah, I was in the school gymnasium, probably not far from you, and we were the same, watching one small TV set on a stage. It was one small TV set for us. It was a giant TV set in the history of the school in relation to the moon landing. Now, remember that quote.
Yes. Well, there's another one for us.
And it is the 40th anniversary this year of that event. I plan to do just a little bit of special information on the Take It Easy program on the Friday preceding that particular date, if I have a chance to just research a couple of little details.
We're talking July here, aren't we?
Yep.
July somewhere 19th, 29th, something like that?
Well, I think it was 21st in Australia.
That's right. That's right.
Because of the time difference, it was the 20th in America. I think that's the way it goes.
Yep.
Yeah, I was fascinated. I wanted to say a lot more about the space program and the moon landing, but we've got a lot to talk about, so I don't think I'll go right into it. But I was just mesmerised generally by the whole space program, and we all certainly were by the moon landing. Now,
1980, the death of John Lennon. Now, I was at work at the time. It was on the radio news. It broke. I mean, I was numb. I mean, the majority of Beatles fans in those days, all right, we're 10 years after the Beatles have broken up, but it was just something that you just couldn't fathom. John Lennon had been assassinated. I mean, I suppose the circumstances were the hardest part to understand, that this member of the Beatles that had been putting together songs for many years as a band member and then as a solo performer, and he was still charting at that point of time.
Yep.
It was numb. That was
amazing.
The feeling. Yeah.
I remember the same. We were at home, and we hadn't been married very long, same for you, and home at the end of the day, and we were listening to the radio, and it was one of our workmates who announced it, and I said to Ev at home, did he say John Lennon? Did you hear that? Did he say John Lennon had been assassinated? And we couldn't believe that we'd heard it. That was probably one of the most stunning celebrity deaths like that. That's the one that I can remember mostly. And then Elvis is another one.
Yes.
Although I don't remember, where I was at the time, but I just remember hearing about it, and it was pretty amazing and hard to believe that he'd passed away as well.
Yes.
The Buddy Holly, the death was another one. I was reading a book by Eric Clapton. It was his autobiography, the latest one that's been released, and he was saying that many of the people he knows remember what they were doing when President Kennedy was assassinated. He said he doesn't, but he remembers vividly when Buddy Holly died. And so that was another incredible one.
Yes. Bit before our time, really, wasn't it? I mean,
it was, yeah.
It was. Little tackers we
little
were.
Tackers. And it's a nice feeling to be able to say we were too young to remember. These days it's not often that we can actually say something like that, is it?
Correct. Yes.
Now, the decimal currency, are we ready to get onto that?
Decimal currency, yes.
Yeah.
That was a big time in the lives of Australians, because we transformed ourselves into a population that was changing from pounds, shillings and pence to dollars and cents.
That's right. There were some advertising promotions preparing us for it. Took place on the 14th of February 1966, and there was a commercial, a jingle, which was sung by a cartoon character called Dollar Bill. His main body was a dollar note.
Yeah,
Well,
I remember that.
a dollar sign. And there was a jingle. Now, from the internet, I managed to find the actual script to that. Now, you've got your copy there, and what we want to do, for those of you who perhaps may be a little hazy about it, but may have some faint memories, we're going to provide a real service tonight on 3-Way FM. We're going to actually sing it. I know this is quite scary. We can't sing very well, but look, we're going to do it anyway after the count of 4. You ready?
Not really, no.
1, 2... Hang on. No, I didn't explain that it was 1, 2, 3. I didn't explain it was to the tune of Click Go the Shears.
Right.
That's the key part.
I'll see if I can remember the words.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
In come the dollars and in come the cents to replace the pounds and the shillings and the pence. Be prepared for changes when the coins begin to mix on the 14th of February 1966.
Hey, that's it, Welshy. That's the one.
Thank you very much, gee.
Now, I'm sure that after that, everybody has one comment to make, and it's directed at the both of us. And the comment is this: Hawley and Welshy, whatever you do, don't give up your day jobs. This is 103.7 3-Way FM.
You're taking it easy with Steve Welsh and Graham Hall. It's 10 past 11.
The golden miles before me, the black tracks of my shoes behind me, leaving things I've waited for this day. Thoughts of my home, with many I was lonely, and now with a dream in my mind I am searching for love. The places and the towns that I have had my chance to come to, the people turn away. To hell with them, I say. Thoughts as I roam, with many I am lonely, and now with the gold miles before me, I search on for love. And now as I hold you near, I see the tables turning. You know I have to thank you for all that I am learning. And now as you show me the reasons for my searching, here in the depth of the golden hours, living for love.
Healing Force. Golden Miles on 103.7 Three-Way FM.
You're listening to Take It Easy. It's 13 past 11.
Collins Booksellers in Liebig Street is Warrnambool's quality bookshop. At Collins Booksellers you'll find South West Victoria's largest range of books, as well as Warrnambool's ABC Centre with a range of ABC books, videos, music, toys and T-shirts. Collins Booksellers have a no-charge special order service and offer discounts to Three-Way FM members and all students. Call into Collins Booksellers at ABC Centre at 99 Liebig Street, Warrnambool, or phone them on 5562 4272. That's 5562 4272. Collins Booksellers is our subscription agency and are pleased to be sponsors of Three-Way FM, Great Ocean Radio.
And you're listening to Take It Easy on a Friday night with Graham Hall.
And Steve Welsh.
We're talking now about people you admire. Now, who have you got on your list about people you admire, Welshy?
There's got to be a whole stack of people, and I'm not going to bore everybody tonight with a whole list of people I've met and who I like and all that sort of thing. But
okay, well, I've got some here. Oh, you meant you have got some.
I have.
Oh,
yes,
right.
I didn't want to go through the whole. Yeah.
Misunderstood.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. Johnny Chester. Now, there's a name. I mean, I've known Johnny for many years. I met him back in the days when I worked at 3KZ as an office boy. But he'd quite often call into the studios, and he'd take time to spend a little bit of time with me, which was great, and talk to me. And I thought that was great because here's this great, well-known. Not just a music star, but also a radio star, because he had his own radio show on 3UZ. And he called in from time to time, and he actually sort of took time to speak to this little office boy, and I thought that was great.
He seemed to be a nice bloke who was down to earth and would talk to people, and that is the way he was.
That's the way he was. Yeah, it was very natural. He was a real natural sort of person, and he really spoke to you as if he was as interested in what you had to say, and it wasn't a case of walking out the door and saying, "Oh, is that right? Yeah, good on you, mate. See you later," or anything like that. It was terrific.
Yeah.
And in my first week in Warrnambool, I compared a country show featuring a number of Australian country performers. I think the Hawking brothers were there, and Johnny Chester, and a few other people at the Capitol Theatre, and that was a fantastic show. But with Johnny Chester, what you get, what you see is what you get.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
We know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
my Take It Easy regular listeners are pretty understanding people. We know what you mean.
That's good. Thank you very much.
Because a lot of the time I don't make sense, but they know what I mean. No worries.
Thank you very much.
Not that you weren't making sense.
No, I understand fully.
Yep.
I understand fully. But,
right.
But Jess, yep, absolutely. He was a rock and roller before he became a country music star, and then of course it's all history now. But he's a great performer, and as I said, he's really an Australian icon. But he was a genuine Australian that had time for anybody that wanted to speak to him.
I had great admiration for Graham Kennedy. I loved watching Graham and Bert together, and I always remember Graham's unique way of delivering the funny moments in the show. I remember him advertising, for example, 3 cooking pots or cooking saucepans, and he gave them a big rev, brilliant commercial. He gets to the end, and whatever the price was, let's just say it was $50, he says, $50. And $50? What? For 3 bits of metal? And he's banging the metals around. 3 bits of $50? You got to be joking. So that was one thing he did. And then he was advertising an open day at the Weather Bureau, and he was saying, well, everyone will be able to go in and have a guided tour of what happens in the Weather Bureau. And then he stops in his very special way, and he says, so that means you'll be able to actually see them tossing the coin.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. Now, Ken Sutcliffe, I've got a little article in my collection of bits and pieces here, an interview with Ken Sutcliffe, and he actually made a comment about Graham Kennedy too when he was asked favourite TV personality. Graham Kennedy, one of a kind, broke all the rules, a brilliant mind, and that probably sums up, the way he was. I just think he was unique. And Ken was also asked for some advice. This is not about Graham Kennedy, but I thought it's worth relating. He said, don't take yourself too seriously, but be serious about getting it right and hang in for the long haul.
Nice.
H-A-U-L.
Yes.
Not H-A-double-L.
Yes, as opposed to yes.
Yeah, but he should have meant H-A-double-L. Yes, next.
John Farnham. How nice is this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just sensational.
Well, now I've got a bit about John Farnham
bit
in
about
my
John
paperwork
Farnham,
here
yeah.
as well. Goodness gracious.
Well, I had the chance to meet him a few years back at some radio awards that were on, and I called him over for a bit of a chat. No problem whatsoever. You know, he was there to talk. He was more than happy to do so. But he's so funny. He's genuine. He listens to what you have to say. He's just an amazing entertainer and so friendly. And he really appeals to people of all ages. They can relate to his music, and he really is Australia's best ever music artist. And I think, as seen recently when he was on stage at the Bushfire Relief concert with Coldplay, the young kids in the audience just went absolutely berserk. They were singing "You're the Voice," louder than he was. So
amazing.
It's good. But he's an amazing man. But you've had a little bit of a brush with fame?
Well, yeah. I told you that I shared the stage with John Farnham once, did I?
You did tell me that you'd shared the stage with John Farnham.
Well, it was back when, because you know, but a lot of people may not, that although I have mentioned it on this show before, that I played the drums when I was a teenager, the same as Jason is playing the drums now, son Jace. And that's when I shared the same stage as John Farnham.
So you shared the same stage with John Farnham. How did this come about?
Well, you see, I played in the school orchestra, and we often played on the stage in the Assembly Hall, and John also did a concert there back in 1969.
But you said you played on the same stage as John Farnham.
Yeah, well, I did. I didn't actually say at the same time. Did I?
No.
Did I make that sound like I was actually on the stage at the same time as John Farnham?
Not really.
No, it was actually the same stage, but there were many, many months between when I was there and when he was there.
Well done.
Yeah. This reminds me, actually, Red Simons, former Skyhooks and current ABC 774 Brekkie announcer, likes to tell the story that he played with the Bee Gees years ago.
Right.
But he doesn't always add that he's talking about when they were on the boat on the way out from England years ago when they were kids and they actually played together games.
Played games on the
That's
ship.
what he means.
Good on you, Red.
John is touring again, as we've heard this week, and I'm really happy about that. It's great to see him back doing tours again, playing at the Palais in St Kilda, October 19, 20, 22, 23 and 24.
At this stage?
Yeah, and more will be added, do you think?
I think so. I
And
think so.
Tickets on sale June the 15th. He's recording a new album which may be out in November. And I also read about a new Essential compilation to be released by Sony in September. See him on the news the other night. He said they're putting the band back together. Fortunately, none of them have died in the interim. He said his hair's got a little thinner. He hasn't. A couple of clever comments. And also a little bit of trivia, and I don't know the complete details, but one of the co-writers of A Whiter Shade of Pale apparently was the co-writer of You're the Voice. So how about that? And also I found a version of You're the Voice on a Heart Essential album that I got and never realised that they did a version of it. Well, the next request is yours, Welshy. What's this one?
Okay, 1977, it was sort of the early days of disco, and although it wasn't a number one hit, it was still a great song from a band called Supercharge. And if you're back in the disco days and up there at the Max Hotel Let's Go Disco, you recall this one pretty well. Let's get up and dance. Supercharge at 103.7 Three-Way FM.
Get Up and Dance from Supercharge on 103.7 Three-Way FM.
It's 24 past 11, Friday night in town, and it's been pretty sort of coolish of this week. We haven't had a check of the weather of late either. What's in store for the weekend?
No, we haven't. I'll let you do that if you can just have a look what's Saturday there.
Okay, thank you very much. Partly cloudy, winds easing and averaging 15 to 20 kilometres per hour. Partly cloudy, while for Sunday, sunny with winds east to northeasterly, heading for a top of 15 tomorrow, up to an overnight low of 6 on around 16 degrees for Sunday.
11.2 degrees is the temperature in Warrnambool at the moment. Now, we wanted to do a little bit about the Beatles because they've had such an impact on people our age, people even younger, and, of course, people a bit older than us. We were a little bit too young to hear the very beginning of the Beatles and take too much notice of them. I'd just like to put that in because, as we said before, you don't get a chance to say that very often at our age. Have you got a favourite Beatles song?
Oh, golly, it's so hard. It's some of those earlier tracks were just a little unusual again, and I can remember them, Mum and Dad to sort of say, what's this loud, raucous music? And I mean, you listen back to some of that 62, 63 type Beatles music these days, and it's nothing compared to some of that heavier rock music of today.
No, it's not, that's for sure.
I'll be one of the old school, I suppose, and say that I guess Hey Jude was one of my favourites more in the latter stages of their life, and Let It Be was also a great track, but I didn't mind. There's very little in the way of the Beatles catalogue that I can sit back and say, I don't like this, I don't like this. Everything they did was really the Midas touch. Everything sort of turned to gold.
And many of their songs bring back memories. Same with all of these old songs. They take you back to what you were doing when you heard them, and many of the Beatles ones have got special memories for many of us, take us back to a special place.
What about you? Have you got a favourite?
I probably haven't. It's very hard to name a favourite. I like them all. Penny Lane about to play in a minute, and I love that one because that reminds me, 3U's Ed in Melbourne used to run at one particular time a battle of the Beatles, and the Penny Lane was the winning song each time. They'd play another song up against it each night, and people would ring in with their votes, and then they would supposedly have the computer calculating the phone calls and spitting out the winning one, and Penny Lane was always the one that played. So I just have memories of that. I think the DJ was Sam Anglesey, great announcer, and it brings me back. I love Oobla Dee Oobla Da, and just lately I've heard some people make comments to say that it's not really one of their best songs. I used to love that. I had some thoughts about the Beatles before George died. I wondered if Paul, Ringo and George would record something with Julian Lennon because his voice is so much like John.
It is. It's uncanny, wasn't it?
It was. Funny feeling when we heard Julian's first songs on the air. But it's probably wouldn't have happened and probably shouldn't, I suppose. They're unique, they stand alone, and you can't really recreate them, and I suppose you shouldn't try.
No.
Now, I had a question for you about the Band on the Run cover. I've been reading, some time ago, I read Michael Parkinson's autobiography, and he's got a photo in there which includes him on the cover of Band on the Run, and a comment saying something like, my real claim to fame, on the cover of Band on the Run by McCartney and Wings. And I thought, now, was that serious? Or was it just a doctored-up photo, and was he saying it as a joke? And I've given you the research. What did you find?
Yeah, Michael Parkinson is actually on the, depending on which way you're looking at the record cover, but on the far left, he is actually there amongst a host of other great stars, including, I think, Muhammad Ali, a couple of film actors, Christopher Lee's there, plus Wings as well. So it wasn't a made-up story. Michael Parkinson, in his younger days, is on the album cover.
And there it is in real-life vinyl, the actual cover. That's him. And I suppose I didn't know Michael Parkinson as well, know of him as well at the time. You can see that it's him when you look at it now. Yeah. All right, well, that's some extra information. George was a great songwriter and a little bit perhaps underrated because Lennon and McCartney, were the main songwriters, but George was really good with a lot of the songs that he wrote too, and he proved that with the Beatles, While My Guitar Gently Weeps Something, and Here Comes the Sun, for instance.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, the Beatles, we haven't seen them play together for a long time, but I think their music will live forever.
Penny Lane, there is a barber showing photographs. Every head he's had the pleasure to know, and all the people that come and go stop and say hello. On the corner is a banker with a motor car. The little children laughing him behind his back, and the banker never wears a mask in the pouring rain. Very strange. Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. There beneath the blue suburban skies, I sit and meanwhile back in Penny Lane there is a fireman on an hourglass, and in his pocket is a portrait of a queen. He likes to keep his fire engine clean. It's a clean machine. Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. For a fish and finger pies in summer, meanwhile back behind the shelter in the middle of the roundabout, Pretty Nurse is selling puppies from a tray. And though she feels as if she's in a play, she is anyway. Penny Lane, the barber shaves another customer. We see the banker sitting waiting for a trim. Then the fireman pushes in from the pouring rain. Very strange. Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. Beneath the blue suburban skies, I sit and meanwhile back. Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. Beneath the blue suburban skies, Penny Lane.
Beatles and Penny Lane. 11:32. You're listening to 103.7 Three-Way FM with Hawley.
And Steve Welsh. And we must send a quick hello to Crunch, who I believe is dissecting this program very closely tonight to make sure that we don't make any mistakes.
Yes, probably right. Keeping it for evidence, and good on you, Crunch. Now, look, you bring up the name of Crunch. I was listening to his show today, Driver's Seat, between 4 and 6 on Fridays, and he's been involved with Three-Way on air for over 10 years on and off. He did... all right, very good. He did the Brekkie show for around about 5 years. It was called the Crunchy Breakfast. I don't know if that refers to the crunch of the breakfast food, or whether he had a crunchy for breakfast every day, or whether he just had a crunchy on the Friday when he was doing that show. But he also did discos for around about 20 years, and on his show today he mentioned the 4 most popular requested songs. You might want to read them out. The 4 most popular requested songs over the 20 years or so that he did discos. And I thought, well, that's an interesting bit. We'll refer to that tonight.
Elton John's Crocodile Rock. Now, that would be one that people love to dance to because they know the words of the song.
Yeah.
And Flying Through the Air with the Crocodile Rock. Daddy Cool, Eagle Rock. Here we go. We've got the rocks dominating here, but
Yeah,
Eagle,
brilliant.
everybody loves that song.
That was one that I had on my list to play tonight. Pardon me, but I won't do it anyway because Crunch played it, and our time is so short. I wish the show went longer. Gee, it frustrates me.
Yeah.
Every Friday night it does. The time just runs out, and it certainly is tonight. Anyway, keep going.
Creedence Clearwater Revival, Bad Moon Rising. That's a bit of a surprise, that one.
Yep, keep going.
And Cole Chisel with K-San. Yeah, that's a very popular song, and people love to sing that one as well.
Yeah.
So, what's the one down the bottom there?
You might want to read that out. Jason doctored up the list. He saw the list sitting there at tea time tonight, and he decided to add one
all torn down by the living end, only because he's a living end fan. Thanks, Jace, very much indeed. Yeah.
Good on you, JM.
Yeah, good, right.
And hi to Ev. They hoping they, I think Jace will be listening, and I think Ev will be too. So hi to you both at home. Jace is meant to be doing study on a Friday night, because it's hard to find the time to get it in. But he often listens when he's at home and gives up the study, so good on you, JM. Now look, Jace told me a story when he was at school. There was a fella called Hayden, and he would put a question to the assembly of students, and it was a kind of unanswerable question. Quite amusing, and he would call them Hayden's unanswerable questions. So I thought we'll call this Welshy and Hawley's unanswerable questions tonight. We've got a few of these to read out. If quitters never win and winners never quit, what idiot came up with quit while you're ahead?
Not all. If the black box flight recorder is never damaged during a plane crash, why isn't the whole aeroplane made out of the very same stuff?
All right, and what about this one? Why is it that when you open a can of evaporated milk, it's still full?
Now that one makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. Why do shops, which are open 24 hours a day, have locks on their doors?
Well, there's an unanswerable question.
Yes.
Before they invented drawing boards, what did they go back to?
Ah, nice one. Yeah. If all the world is a stage, where does the audience sit? I like it.
Why is there an expiry date on sour cream?
Yeah, that's good. How does Teflon stick to the pan?
That was from Jace. That was one of Jace's unanswerable questions.
Good question.
Now, light travels faster than sound, so is that why some people appear bright until you hear them speak?
That's a good one. That is a good one. Why are there 5 syllables in the word monosyllable? That's why you gave this one to me, isn't it? In the word monosyllabic.
I was going to ask you to say that again, but no, I won't now.
No,
Took half the show up.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah.
Does the reverse side also have a reverse side?
Ooh, good one. And if you try to fail and succeed, which have you done?
Good question. This is 103.7 Three-Way FM. This is Take It Easy on 103.7 Three-Way FM with Welshy and Hawley. Now, one of my workmates, Tom Warburton, was telling me about a series of concerts which took place in Camperdown every Tuesday night back in the late 60s and early 70s at the Theatre Royal. Tuesday nights they got up to 1,000 people sometimes. There were top-name local bands, which I'm going to read to you an example of some of them. And as I read each name, Steve will tell you the name of one of their hits.
Oh, thanks very much.
I might just point out that I didn't warn him I was going to throw this on him. I thought it'd just make the show a little more interesting. Axiom.
A Little Ray of Sunshine.
And
Arkansas Grass.
And
My Baby's Gone.
Good on you. I knew you'd come up with that one. The Group.
Woman You're Breaking Me.
Flying Circus.
Hayride or La.
Oh, he's good, isn't he? Masters Apprentices.
Turn Up Your Radio.
The Valentines.
My Old Man's a Groovy Old Man.
Ticka-ticka-ticka-ticka-doo-doo, or something like that.
That's the one.
Now, Tom was telling me that this was when Bon Scott was 17 years old, and with them as one of the lead singers, and Vince Lovegrove was the other lead singer.
Golly.
The New Dream.
Soft Delights.
Groove.
Pardon?
Groove. The Groove. That might be a bit...
Groove. Oh, The Groove.
Groove?
Oh, was that Woman You're Breaking Me?
No, that was a group.
Oh, that's
It
right.
might be a bit hard. There is I'm probably cheating, I know, because there's this compilation CD I've got, and it's got a track by The Groove on it, which I remember, but I may not have remembered it if I didn't look at that song. Relax Me. You know, it starts with this bass line. We might sing it. No, perhaps not.
14th of February 1966.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Izzy Die and the New Zealand Avengers might be a bit hard. I know, remember Izzy Die well, but I can't remember any particular hit.
He had some, but I can't. Yeah.
And the New Zealand Avengers, I remember the Brisbane Avengers had a song called Twiddly Dee, which I've got on vinyl.
Right.
Yeah. And the Zoot.
Eleanor Rigby.
Wasn't that a great song?
Absolutely sensational.
This is 103.7 3-Way FM. You're listening to Take It Easy.
That is fantastic. Eleanor Rigby with the Zoot, the band from 1967, and they just absolutely sent shockwaves through the industry, I think, when they recorded the Beatles song. We were talking about the Beatles before, and that's just absolutely fantastic, the way that just sort of sent shivers up your spine. Eleanor Rigby at 103.7 3-Way FM. You're listening to Take It Easy with Welshy and Hawley. It's coming up to 15 to midnight.
Right, now I think at this point it's about time I proposed a toast to the both of us. It's been good having you in here. We're not finishing yet, by the way. We certainly don't want it to sound like that. It's been good having you in here talking about the old times. We don't get a chance to do that very often.
No.
So, oh look, I'm a bit unprepared. I haven't quite filled up the glasses yet, Welshy. Could you just fill in the gap while I just fill up the glasses here?
Absolutely.
Here we go, right.
It's a strange-looking bottle he's got there. I'm not too sure. Oh, very nice. Yeah, that'll do.
All right, that enough for you?
Yep.
Little bit
yourself
more?
One. No. Oh, okay. Don't overflow.
All right, there you go. Now I'll just
One
keep
for you.
going. I'll just fill up mine.
Okay, he's doing his as well. I'm a bit worried about the colour of that liquid there. Hey, hang on. Hang on.
Bit more.
No, you've got more than
Just
I
a
have.
bit full. Actually, we're not supposed to have drinks in the studio, by the way, but a bit of an exception tonight. I'll just have to top that up again.
You can't
Okay.
get any more in the
Welshy.
glass. Cheers.
Let's do that again. Good health.
Yeah, good health and happiness.
Drink up.
Yeah.
Bottoms up. Oh, now look, before we play some music, what I want you to do here is choose a year.
A year.
A year. Yeah.
Any particular year?
Any year.
All right. What about 1967?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
1967 will be nice. All right, so good health.
Good
All
health.
the best, Welshy.
Yeah.
Drink up.
You too.
Here's to old 67 and an older you and me on 103.7 3-Way FM. Take it easy on a Friday night.
Hey, how about this? A little conversation tonight. Thinking aloud how we struggle to find our place in the busy heights. Don't often do this. We never really get the chance. Nearly froze to death on Oxford Street. Now we're sitting in the south of France, talking through the evening. It's good to shoot the breeze.
drink up, Welshy.
Thanks, Ollie. Cheers.
Here's to old 67 and an older me and you. Nice drop.
Yeah.
But look, you didn't have to drink the whole lot at once, Welshy.
I thought it was soft drink. we better behave ourselves before the drink police come in.
Yeah, that's Elton John and a track from his Captain and the Kid album. It's 10 minutes to midnight and you're listening to 103.7 3-Way FM with Graham Hall.
And Steve Welsh.
And I've already said it's 10 minutes to midnight. We've got some words of wisdom. And we thought these were worth just quickly running through. One disadvantage of having nothing to do is that you can't stop and rest.
I like that. Well done. A quote from George Foreman. There's more to boxing than just hitting. There's not getting hit, for instance.
Good point.
Yes.
Good point.
Yes.
Now, before you judge a man, walk a mile in his shoes. That way, after you've judged him, you'll have his shoes and you'll be a mile away.
I like that one. That's good. The best way for a man to remember his wife's birthday is to forget it just once. Yes.
Never forget it again.
Correct.
9 minutes to midnight. Mentioned earlier that I played the drums as a young bloke. Steve, you also played the drums.
Yeah.
And I've got a track here by Rod Stewart. It's got a nice bit of drumming towards the end, so I thought we'd play that on the show tonight. It's called I Know I'm Losing You. Here's Rod Stewart on 103.7 3-Way FM on a Friday night.
Your love is fading, can feel your love fading. Woman, it's fading away from me. 'Cause your personal touch has grown cold, as if someone else controls your very soul. I fooled myself long as I can feel the presence of another man. It's there when you speak my name, it's just not the same. Oh, honey, I'm losing you. Can feel it in the air, it's there everywhere. Oh, I'm losing you. I can feel it in my bones. Any day you'll be up and gone. Oh, I'm losing you. It's all over your face. Someone's taken my place. Could it be that I'm losing you? When I look into your eyes, a reflection of a face I see. Oh, Lord, I'm losing you. I'm hurt, downhearted, and worried, girl, 'cause that face doesn't belong to me. Your love is fading, can feel it fade. Oh, away from me. Feel it in the air, it's there everywhere. Oh, I'm losing you. I don't want to lose you, but I know I'm going to groove you. Oh, Lord, I'm losing you. Oh,
Rod Stewart there. I know I'm losing you at 5 minutes to midnight on 103.7. Funny how things happen. I played that song so Welshy could hear the drums towards the end, but we were actually so busy planning what we're doing towards the end of the show that Welshy never heard a thing about the drums. But look, that's just the way it goes. Sorry about that, Steve.
That's all right. I think it's called gas bagging.
Okay, what's the weather?
Okay, for Saturday, partly cloudy, winds easterly averaging 15 to 20 kilometres per hour, top of 15 tomorrow, so not too bad. Partly cloudy, and again for Sunday, a little bit more sunshine, and a top expected around 16 degrees, and currently 11 degrees in Warrnambool at the moment. Nearly time to finish. A couple of things to talk about just before we do finish, and we were going to talk about these and play the appropriate song, but we haven't got time. But a comment about the Jackson 5. I saw them in concert on TV, I don't know, a year or two ago, and Michael Jackson had rejoined them for that particular concert, and I thought, well, this will be fantastic seeing Michael Jackson playing again with them. And it certainly was, but the funny thing is, when he recorded the song, the original songs like ABC and I'll Be There, it was a young boy doing the vocals, and it didn't sound the same as a grown man doing them. Funny situation. Yeah.
Heard a story about him too. Quincy Jones, I think, was producing some of his songs. Told a story of how Michael had a new song to present to him, and Michael was too shy to sing it in the actual room to Quincy, just Quincy on his own. He had to hide behind a desk or a table or something so as he wasn't being watched. Funny, isn't it? Funny how that happens when he can perform in front of so many people.
Yes.
But he was a bit shy, but I can understand it.
Yes.
Look, we're running out of time, so I really want to thank you very much for coming in and joining me on the show tonight. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun, and thanks for all of the notes you've had in the preparation, Welshy. It's been really good to hear about your stories, and I appreciate you coming in, so thanks very much once again.
Thanks for having me. I've enjoyed it immensely, and pretty boring sort of fellow really, but I've enjoyed the radio
Certainly not.
field. It's been great fun. It's been good. Thanks
Welshy. Coming up next, BP with Dialectic. I'll see you next week. Thanks everyone for being with me tonight. Take care. See you next week.
Down in Jamaica they got lots of pretty women. Steal your money, then they break your heart. Lonesome Sue, she's in love with old Sam. Taken from the fire into the frying pan. On and on, she just keeps on trying. And she smiles when she feels like crying. On and on, on and on, on and on. Oh, Jimmy sits alone in the moonlight. Saw his woman kiss another man. So he takes a ladder, steals the stars from the sky, puts on Sinatra and starts to cry. On and on, he just keeps on trying. And he smiles when he feels like crying. On and on, on and on, on and on. When the first time is the last time, make you feel so bad. But if you know it, show it. Hold on tight, don't let say goodnight. Got the sun on my shoulders and my toes in the sand. Woman's left me for some other man. Oh, but I don't care, I'll just dream and stay tuned. Toss up a heart to see where it lands. On and on, I just keep on trying. And I smile when I feel like dying. On and on, on and on, on and on. On and on, on and on, on and on. On and on.
Dialectic.